Okay, so here we are for the finale of this painting. Um, as you can see, I did where we left off. I have the uh, glass bead gel on the wings. Let's see, because I'm going to do a close up of her face and finish that, and then we'll do all the rest. Um, which is the golden glass beads, and they're beautiful. Let's see. I always get backwards. Let's see if you can see them. Yeah. So I will be going over them. Here's our face, and we put the fiber paste in her hair. And as I did that, I decided that I'm not going to continue with the yellow hair. I think with the background, and I did do a little bit of glass beads around, which I'll show you up close in a bit before we continue a little bit to more blend this in. I think I'm going to go with a light orange on the hair. Um, I think, and I could be wrong, I think I might like it better. It's a gamble, but I think I might do it. I can't. I'm kind of torn back and forth on that. So what I'm going to do right now is work on her eyes and the rest of her face, and then I will go with the hair where I want to go with it. If I want to keep it blonde or I want to do it orange. That is my debate right now. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some paint. And you see we're going to do her eyes green. And I want to do some eyeshadow on her. Probably just a very light like taupe. Like a very light, or maybe even a light pink. I want to put in her eyebrows though, and her nose. So I don't have my ruler here, which would make sense. But what I'm going to do is hit the inside of the mouth as if this were the ruler. And I'm going to just mark her nose. Just a little dot there so I know where to work. I don't know. Can you see the dot? Yeah. And it's kind of in the middle. And I do the circle. I do the round. Again, it depends, you know, everybody does it differently. And I'll touch it up with paint when I'm done. And then I just take it up there a little bit. Now, I look at that nose. It's kind of little. Do I want to make it a little wider? Maybe. And I'll just take it up. I mean, mistakes happen. You have to look and you have to judge so it's realistic looking. Not real so much realistic looking, but that you're happy with it, let's say. So I'll just make that a little wider. And then I'll do my little cups, and then I'll just add that on. And I'll do my little cup over here, the little nostril. Now, I'll put little at the end. And like I said, touch-up paint, no big deal. And that's usually just how I do the basic nose. I'll go over it probably with a Prismacolor or something to that effect. Now, you guys know I love, and if I could find it, I just had it. I love my green circle template so much that I can't find it. I have to buy another one because I'm just using the heck out of it. So we'll just pretend. And I'm just going to put in the circles here for her eyes so I have an idea of where, and you can barely see it, but I want an idea of where they're going to go. And they're just going to be kind of looking forward. Okay. And then Eyebrows, I know everybody has rules and whatnot, but I just kind of very lightly do my eyebrows over. And again, I'll do them over with the brown. People start them and end them differently. I just kind of put them on. And then you see our eye. Now I will probably give that a little bit of a erase off there. Okay. Because I'm going to put a little bit of paint on there for her eyes. I can see this eye is a little bit wider on the other side. Okay. And there we are with that. You can see the lips. What I'm going to do is probably take a very thin brush and a darker, it's called Sugar Plum by Plaid Folk Art. This is really weird at being so close. There we go. Give it a quick shake. I just really barely want to outline the lips. Now, chances are I'm probably going to fill in the lips with this color later, but I want the contrast right now so I can decide what I want to do when everything's done, because those are the touch-ups I happen to do last. I know people have their own way of doing it. And again, I'm just going to leave that. And that's where we're going to leave the lips right now. And what I do with it at the end, because that's usually when I'll decide, is will be the last thing. But I really do like the brighter color, especially if I do the blonde hair. It all depends on the color hair I do. So there we go. When I do angels, what I like to do with the skin tone, I don't do shading at all. And I'm probably going to go over this face one more time with the color, which is usually like a flesh color, light flesh, so forth, because to me, angels, I'm not really looking for shadow effect as if I were doing a drawing, because they're to look more angelic. And I don't want her to be white, but it's kind of like a base color. That's why I try to keep everything as light as possible. But what we can do right now are these wings. And let me just move to this wing. And all I'm going to do is white pigment. And again, I'm using very inexpensive acrylics today. Anybody can start their, who wants to start to paint. You don't have to buy golden and, Liquitex and all that, although they're fantastic and I have and use those also. You can start very cheaply with the main colors. I always say Roy G. Biv And you can, start very cheaply and watch YouTube videos and go to the free. There's so many free classes now that you can go to, and classes that you could pay for that are fantastic, that you can learn the basics. And I just go over that to cover it up. I don't want the balls to necessarily show the glass, the glass beads, but I do want the texture. And I'll do the other one, which is right here. And I really did a plop on that one, didn't I? I'll have to squeeze some of that back in there or do another coat. I mean, these, you can get these folk art ones for, I don't know, $1.19. And when they're on sale, even better. Sometimes you can get them too for $1. There's different brands. Ceramicoat and Apple Barrel and all of them. Whatever's on sale, grab. Get your basics that you can mix, and then I'll just throw another coat over here. And then you can build. Say, okay, I'm going to take $5 today and go buy, different colors. So you don't have to mix. And I always have a black and white. And I am going to stick the extra white on there. So if I use it for anything, I'll have it. I hate to waste, even though they are cheaper. And I didn't know my own strength when I was pouring it out. That way, if it needs another coat, I have it. Now this happens to be a glossy, which I don't use a lot of. But I'm using it on the wings because of the beads. And I don't want to really go over them too much. And again, you can paint these any direction because they're just wings. It's just for texture. Okay. So our wings will be, and you can see, like right here, which that really doesn't bother me too much if there's, because when it dries, it's just going to add more texture. So it really doesn't bother me too much that there's, that that's on there. Now let's do the eyes. I'm going to probably use, sorry for my hand in the way, a marker. And I love the Faber-Castell markers, and this is a bold one. And for the pupil, I'm just going to kind of, so I get an idea of where I'm putting it. I'll go over with paint in a while, but I want to get the overall look. And you can see that one's down a little bit. And again, perfection is not important to me. If it was, I wouldn't be doing this. Now I see that one's a little bit more oval, so I'll just make it a little bit heavier over here. And if I have to go back and touch up with a little green, which I probably will, I will. I'm not too worried about it. You're supposed to have fun and enjoy and learn as you do. And I didn't use my little circle template, which I do. Only because I have RA and my hands, it's hard sometimes to manipulate things and to get things perfect. So I do use my circle template. And if I had it right now, I'd show you it. But I'm sure you've seen it before because I use it crazily. And I love it. So there we go so far. Now, I love the green, the metallic green for this. I'm going to probably stencil or stamp on top of this or add something to it. I think what I might do is go over the face. And I'm just using Folk Art Light Flush. Giving it a quick shake. I like to do this, and then I can spread it around to where I want it. You can use it, I just lost all train of thought. Palette. You can use a palette if you choose. And you can even go over the eyebrows because you'll still see a basic of them because you're going to go over it whether you use paint or I go over the top of the eye a little bit. Whether you use paint or marker or colored pencil, whatever you have. Again, there's really no rules of what you can use. And I know where I want to put those, so. And then I'm just going to go over the face. Because the eyes I can fill in. I just want to make sure you guys can see. Okay. And there are so many people out there. Again, you can go over the nose. You know where your line is. And you'll see the graphite will smear a little bit, but that's okay. I just kind of touch it a little bit so I get a feel for where it's at for when I go over it. Some people go over it with paint. Depends on what your mood is that day or what you feel comfortable doing. Paint the nose with paint and a very thin brush. Once you do a few of these and you learn the basics, which to me is so important. Now I would just go back in there with some of my purple and all to touch up. I don't worry about that. What I do is I'll do I used to do commissions with these and put these with people's animals, guardian angels, and made really good money. So I would have ask them their color scheme, and I would draw their animals, rabbits, whatever they had, and added things that represented them or their animals. And I love doing it. And again, like I said, there was no real shading or shadowing involved because to me, when I think of angels, I don't think too much into it except these angelic creatures that are like our guardians of people past or whatever religion you are or whatever way you look at things. So these can be for anybody. So I didn't want the shading or that they're looking a certain way. I just wanted them to be over them. And I did so many of them. And I really did enjoy it. But I did get burnt out a little bit because I wanted to do other things. But I do enjoy because I am such an animal lover. I do enjoy doing things for people that, they love. I probably should do one for me. I have a picture sketched out of my one dog I should do. It's just my dog. It's my Spyro James. He's my soulmate. Dave says that he was born melodramatic like me, so he's my baby. And yeah, I'm not digging that eye over there, so I'll have to go over that with some green, which will be fine, no problem. I'll probably do a lighter green around the inside of the eye and just give it a little bit more texture. Now, the hair. I'm so confused with the hair. I don't know what to do. But I want to let that dry. Oh my gosh. Okay, should I go orange? Because I love the orange and purple together. No, I got to do yellow. I really like the yellow. Now let's find a yellow. But I really do like the yellow. Let me look in my thing here. Gold. Don't want gold. Mustard. Don't want mustard. Alright, let's do some yellow. I'm really liking the yellow. And again, let me just try to... I want you to be able to see it all, plus me do it. Okay. And I just take my big brush. My brushes are always a mess. And I have millions of them. And I have new ones that I don't even use because I'm saving them for when I wear out my bad ones, which I just keep using over and over. And I'm just going to go over this fiber paste. It's one of the texture pastes. And it adds, you know, texture and touchability. Again, I'm not going to do shading with the hair, where I would normally do if I was doing, I had done a goddess or a regular painting that I had, regular picture that I had drawn. Because to me, they're just very beautiful. I don't know how to explain how I look at it. I don't think they need it. I just want them to be just there and beautiful and watching over. And that's my view. You might think of it completely different. And if you go over a little bit, you just take your finger, and if you have to touch it up later, so be it. With a little bit of your face paint. It doesn't matter. Nobody's perfect. One thing I am going to do, though, which I like to do, and you can see on my other YouTube videos, I do have commissions and whatnot that I have done prior to this, and other artwork. I like to, and again, if you can see, the strokes also add dimension. And this is Liquitex Heavy Body, which I believe, I think they're taking them off the shelves. I'm not sure if it's this or the bottles, but okay. So here we go. I'm going to pull back up for a minute and show you guys, not my messy room, but up here where I did the hair, I want to do a few little, just a little bit of stamping. Okay, so I'm just going to take my stamp and I'm going to lightly take some of the yellow and just brush it on. Nothing too fancy. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of give it a stamp. Give it a stamp. Give it a little stamp down here. There's a little bit of texture paste down here. Just going to put that on there. Just to add and pull just a little bit from the hair. Okay. Now, I should have wet I have a really great stamp cleaner. It's like a cushion, but what I'll do is I'll just spray that with water. Just so it doesn't dry on there. Okay. So then I will take, which I love using old dryer sheets, because once, I'm just going to pat it. Once you get these colored with many different ways you can color them, I just give it a quick pat, as you can see, just lifting up. And later I'll put a little purple in there or whatever. But you just want some of the continuation to go through. And even with a little bit of the stamping, you know, where you just see some peaks over here or there. And then what I love to do with these is I'll use these and then they'll get full of color and then I can put them in journals and whatnot. So I really love that. Okay, so here we are. And you can see I have some yellow. Paint's falling everywhere. Got some yellow all over the place. Just to add some more dimension. Her hair is yellow. Got the texture. And now I have to decide what part next. I think I'm going to fix her face. Now, normally what I would do, and you saw my camera fell, because that's just, it's normal. I want everybody to understand this stuff happens. I'm not, you know what I mean? This stuff happens to everybody, not just me. So when you sit there and you're filming and you go refilm 6 times, why? We're all human. Things happen. I bumped it. It's going to fall. Am I going to start over? No. Am I going to stop taping? I might edit. Depends. Depends on how long it takes me. But if I don't, it's in there. And it just shows. Like I said, we're all human. Everybody makes mistakes and errors and crazy stuff. There is not a person who does any type of art who does not make a mistake. Or things like that happens. And everybody who knows me, which are a lot of you, and everybody who comes to my shows know what I'm like. So, shall we say a little ditzy? We'll say a little ditzy. Okay, so, again, we have the yellow, and we have it in there. We have our face. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is go and start on the face. And I'm just going to put this right here. Go and start on the face. And it's because I'm moving my room around and cleaning. I've been doing it for like a week. So I have stuff everywhere. So everything's kind of like hanging and on the ledge and crazy. So you have to excuse me because I have a lot of stuff to do and move. But I want to get these done. And this is going to be a giveaway once it's done. So while I'm thinking about it, let me fix this face with the yellow. And acrylics are great because they just dry so quickly. You can't beat it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it and then I'm going to restart it. So it's not a very, very long video that if you don't have time, you can't watch it all because it's almost 30 minutes. And when I restart and tape it, we'll get to the finishing. It'll be finished within another half hour and then we're good to go. So I'll see you with the next video. Thank you very much.